Yes, thanks for staying with us on the Sports Show. Of course, this week, Poppy, in South Australia, the squash finals hit home. Our next guest, Lucas Norman, participated in those. Lucas, how are you?
Yeah, good. Yourself?
All right, first off, did you win or lose?
I lost my match, but the team...
story over. The team won.
Yeah, the team got over the line.
Yeah,
very tight one.
Well, let's talk about you. You played Jason Mudge, of course. Have you played him much during the season, the Premier League?
Yeah, played, a couple of times this season, a couple of times previously. We get on the court a bit of training. So he's been sort of the top player in Adelaide for 20 plus years.
So is that right? That long?
Very experienced.
Wow.
So I'm happy to get on court with him and learn a few things.
Are you closing the gap? Are you closing the gap?
I like to think so. I don't know. He probably has another gear he can step up if he's under any pressure. So, but hopefully.
You know what? It's amazing. I played tennis only a fortnight ago with Chris Dittmar, right? Obviously a great squash player in his time. He hadn't picked up a racket for 10 years. This is tennis, not his chosen sport. And his hand-eye coordination, his ability to hit the sweet spot, control the court. I reckon it's one of those things you've either got or you haven't. I don't know whether you can teach it. It's very good.
It's not surprising. He was probably one of our best ever players in Australia, not South Australia, and he was #1 in the world. So,
well, let's talk about great players for Australia. Of course, you're Australia's double racquetball champion.
Yes, me and my partner Justin Beard, we managed to get over the line in Albury, Wodonga.
Wow, good.
So that was a really good event. I don't play too much racquetball, but
is it hard to go between the two? We're talking about hand-eye coordination here. Does it follow?
I think some people find it tricky to move over. I found it a little bit difficult when I was playing sort of both sports at the same time, playing racquetball one night, rocking up and playing squash the next night.
Yeah.
But it's not too bad. It's a bit of a different game, but the rules are pretty much the same. It's just a bigger ball and a smaller racket, so it's not too bad. So I guess if you've got some natural hand-eye, you can normally get away with it. So
I just wonder how squash entices the new wave of participants, because most sports, Smythe and Lucas, you can take the sport to the children, to the school, whether it's football or soccer, netball, cricket. Squash,
pretty hard to move.
It's a bit tight. So how do you get
that's
around
probably
that?
one of our biggest challenges. I mean, we try some in-school stuff. It gets a little bit tricky. Me at my centre, we try and get as many schools into the centre as we can. Obviously,
whereabouts are you?
Ingle Farm Squash Club out of the rec centre.
You've got a good council down there.
Yeah, Salisbury Council are really good. They put in a lot of money, help us out whenever we need.
Good.
They run a whole lot of different programs that help us get more people in. The rec centre is really good as well. So yeah, we try to get as many kids into the centre playing squash as possible. We obviously get a lot of foot traffic through the centre, probably over 1,000 people a week, which other squash centres probably struggle a little bit. So that's really handy for us. The sport, the way we entice them is that you can play all year round.
True. Yep.
You know, we try and not compete with probably the top sports. We try and stay away from too much stuff on the weekends. Try to keep it sort of during the week to not compete. It's hard to compete with footy, netball, and those other ones. But we sort of try to do things on sort of a Friday night or during the week. So, yeah.
For you, Lucas, you're the coach down there at Ingle Farm. So you've got a coach. We're talking off air. So it's about 20 hours a week.
Yep.
You're trying to play. You're also trying to study. And racquetball. So we put them all in the mix. How does it all fit in?
I try and keep study as the top priority, but sometimes it does slip down a little bit. So yeah, coach about 75 juniors and a bunch of adults as well.
Right.
So
Would that be the biggest junior base in Australia? In South Australia? Sorry?
Probably not Australia, but certainly South Australia. Yeah. There's a couple other clubs that are starting to build theirs, which is really good. It's always good to have other clubs that we can sort of bounce off and have the kids playing against. So it's all starting to build up at the moment, which is really good.
Now it's inevitably the way it happens. Either a parent or a grandparent, brother or sister played squash. Which is it with you?
So Dad played squash here in South Australia.
Yes.
My uncle was a professional player. He well, #2.
But it's amazing that
brother played as well.
So he brought up in it. And
yeah, I mean, we're from Clare, so we moved there when I was quite young. So Dad was playing there. So I would always just be up against the glass, sort of watching while he was playing, annoying everyone. So me and my brother played all the way through, sort of representing state and junior level, and it just kept going from there. So a lot of every adult I meet, they've always have jumped on court at least once in their life. So it certainly was very popular in the sort of the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. So
look, as you talk about the glass, we're watching the cricketers now. They're trying to decide whether they like the pink ball or the red ball. But for squash, sometimes there's the glass at the back, and we're talking again. You've played in the venue where it's all glass, white balls, black ball. Does it make a big difference to the way you perform if it's a glass?
I think once you get used to it, it's not too bad. Like anything new, once sort of when you first do it, it's a bit different, and then once you get used to it, I mean, again, it's the same game.
Do you have a preference? Is it?
I haven't played too much on a glass court. I've had a few hits. Certainly the glass back compared to the wall back is just a lot more open. You don't feel like you're in an enclosed box as much.
Yeah.
Better for viewing at the back as well. It's always good to be able to view from the top and from ground level. The glass court is definitely where the game's going in terms of the pros. So the pros, 90% of their games will be played on a glass court. You can watch from all around the court as well. You can actually watch them sort of hitting the ball at you, which again takes a bit of getting used to. But apart from that, and the camera angles and stuff like that, and the lighting and everything, it makes it a lot more watchable. So
how do we knock off Muggsy? How do you get him?
Hopefully, well, he's 43 now, so can't have too many good years left. Yeah, I'll just stick in for a while and hopefully he drops down.
So you got the age. Lucas, thanks for coming in. Hopefully you can get him next time. Stay with us. Still lots to come on the show.